Now, several people have been killed and others injured after a fuel tanker exploded in Boksburg in Johannesburg, South Africa, Saturday morning. The truck that was carrying liquefied petroleum gas exploded near the OR Tambo Memorial Hospital. Following the blast, the hospital caught fire, forcing patients to scramble for safety. Unconfirmed reports indicate the truck drove into a low-lying bridge that scrapped its top off, causing the explosion. Emergency rescue services are currently underway. Well, let's get more now from Yolisa Njamela. She's in Boksburg in Johannesburg and she's joining me live from there. Yolisa, so what more can you tell us about the aftermath of this morning's tragic gas truck explosion in the city?
Well, for now, let me just make sure that our viewers understand that it's a bit touch and go. It's a bit of touch and go because the emergency trucks behind us, so there's a bit of noise. So what we understand is that earlier this morning, a truck carrying gas cylinders was driving through a low-lying bridge and it got stuck there. Eyewitnesses are telling us that once it got stuck under that low-lying bridge, the driver got out of the truck and walked away, and some 15 minutes later, it exploded and affected a whole lot of houses around, and the explosion happened right outside Tambo Memorial Hospital, a hospital that is one of the oldest here in South Africa, not only in Gauteng province. What we understand is that after that, because the hospital was adversely affected, infrastructure damage, a whole lot of damage that happened meant that they cannot take any patients at all inside there. The eyewitnesses were telling us that they witnessed emergency services taking out patients and trying to move them to another wing of the hospital because of the damage that have occurred. Emergency services were telling us that 8 people have died and a whole lot of others are critically injured. Eyewitnesses again telling us that they witnessed people being blown away by the amount of flames that they saw around here. Now, we know that the patients who are injured, especially those who are critically injured, have been flown off to other hospitals around here in Benoni, an area that is east of Johannesburg, Gauteng province.
Well, Yolisa, I've just seen a fire truck rushing there past you in the background. How have authorities responded to this emergency, given the proximity of the explosion to the hospital?
The explosion happened very close to the hospital, some meters away from the hospital, hence the damage that is extensive. What I can also tell our viewers is that this explosion happened about 20 kilometers away from the OR Tambo International Airport. We've seen for ourselves some debris lying around, but we have not been able to come closer to the scene exactly of where it happened, and we're trying to navigate to get there. We understand that officials, especially the Premier of Gauteng, Mr. Panyaza Lisufi, are on their way here, and other officials are going to the hospitals where people have been taken to so far. But we understand from the eyewitnesses that the damage is quite extensive, and emergency services personnel telling us that they're expecting that there are more deaths will be announced later this afternoon.